Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy with you. It's Monday. Monday is Tips Day. Now, last week, you may have seen some tips from Julie. I doubt she's ever going to send them again because she's a little bit sensitive sometimes, and I did knock one of her tips. But this week, we have tips from Dennis, and if that doesn't take the whole time up, I have one for myself on my phone that I will add at the end. As always, I haven't read these yet, so we're going to read and react as we go. So Dennis is good enough to send me tips every now and then, and I appreciate that, and I would appreciate it if more of you would do that. It doesn't have to be Carnival. Most of this channel is Carnival because that is the most I cruise. I'm about to do my 76 cruise. Well, by the time this goes out, I will have done my 76 Carnival cruise, but I've also cruised on Royal, Celebrity, Virgin. I'm about to do my first Norwegian cruise, so I would personally love to learn more about those cruise lines. So if you have tips on any cruise line whatsoever, please send them to me. My email is coming up at the end of this video. If you have a cruise and you want to send me your pros and cons of that cruise, send me what you liked and what you didn't like, and we'll use that. Just send them to me, please. I need them because I can't keep doing it myself. I need your help. Anyway, I'm taking away from Dennis's time here, so let's get on. Dennis's tips. Here we go. Mick was watching your tip show today. Good idea, Dennis. I appreciate that. March 31st. And you mentioned New Orleans. Did you know that if you intend to park at that port and you are a disabled veteran, 50% or higher rating, parking is free? You must, upon arrival, present a letter from the VA showing your disability. Good to know. These are the tips I love to get because I know a lot of my clients, because I'm a travel agent, blah, blah, blah. A lot of my clients are vets and some of them are disabled vets. So that is very good tip to give. Make sure you present your letter with that. Additionally, we got more. The Port of Galveston offers a 15% discount on parking for disabled veterans with a 50% disability rating. However, you must pre-register with the Port Authority in advance. I'm assuming that would be on the website. And I do know at Galveston, there is parking very close to the port, like right across the street. That's public parking as well. So very good tips, Dennis. Your first one was better than Julie's first one, I'll tell you that. So New Orleans, 50% off or higher, but present that letter. Galveston, 15%. But you must pre-register in advance. These are the tips I love to get. Oh, another one. Another perk I'm aware of for veterans. So it's a Veterans Tips Day. We love that. I'm a veteran. I was in the British Navy. And I always joke with people. I say, and this is just a joke, so I don't get sensitive. I always say I was in the Gulf. I just don't add it was the Gulf of Mexico. And that joke has gone a bit flat these days, hasn't it? We'll leave that one there. Moving on. Another perk I'm aware of for veterans. Princess Cruises offer up to $100 OBC to veterans. I did not know that either. I'm assuming, see, it does annoy me just a little bit, just a titchy bit, that all these veteran stuff on the cruise lines is for American or Canadian veterans. What about us? When we go to the veterans presentation, you know, the salute to the veterans. Oh God, I'm mental blocking on what they call it. But you know what I mean. They do acknowledge allies, right? So we are allies. So why shouldn't we get it too? Bit sad about that. Maybe they'll change that one day. Because I know my friend Mao is an Australian vet. I'm a British vet. English, really. Well, no. Now I'm an American citizen. 32 years in and I finally did it. Anyways, will I wear a US flag suit? I'll be honest, probably not. Because I still consider myself mostly English, even though I did pledge allegiance. So don't get upset with me. I'm still very proud of my heritage. That's going to get me in trouble. I know it. But yeah, now, Dennis, I do not know how you would get the $100 OBC for veterans. If you know, can you please post in the comments? Because I know you're probably going to be watching this. So if you could post how you would get that onboard credit, I would appreciate it. And then at the end, Dennis says, I'm sure there are other benefits that veterans can receive that I'm not aware of. Maybe you can do a show on this subject sometime. You know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do some research and I'm going to find out all the benefits for veterans, especially as I consider myself, well, really, when you think about it, England is, or Britain is basically the 51st state of the USA, right? Because we do what we're told. So even though you took away from us what was once ours, whoa, we're not going to go there. I jokingly, so on July the 4th, I do one of two things. I either wear a t-shirt and it says, Happy Treason Day, Ungrateful Colonials. Some people take that as a joke it's meant to be. Some get a little bit upset about it. And I frankly don't want to be friends with the ones that get upset about it. I want to be friends with the ones that take it as the joke it's meant to be. Doubling down on that, I also have and I'm going to try and dig this picture up and put it up, I have a full red coat outfit. I know you're probably not surprised about that, but I would wear that sometimes. I remember in the pandemic, I took a picture of myself outside my house and I had a little wooden musket and I had a thing of toilet rolls I was protecting. Some people got it, some people didn't. It's never meant to be offensive. British people, we make jokes. We are not serious about anything. We're used to losing. We don't win ever, but we have a wonderful sense of humor about it, and we can take a joke. Other people, some can't. We'll leave that there. Anyway, very good, Dennis. And I will look up some more stuff about veteran benefits. I'm going on the Panorama next week. I'm going to go to guest services. I'm going to ask them if they can help me out with some of the tips that they can give me on that. But that would be a very good subject to do a video on. So yes, and that's a good point. If anybody else has a video they'd like me to do, I don't do clickbait. I try not to tell untruths. I probably have every now and then, but very rarely do I. Unlike your brand ambassador who loves to lie and is lately blaming all his big lies on semi-lies from YouTubers to get away from his lies. We'll leave that one there. But if you know, you know. I have one tip I'm going to add on to that. Wonderful tips, Dennis. Thank you. We need more veterans tips because we're all proud of our veterans, right? As I can march, I can do it all. I'll tell you a quick story. May not surprise you. When I joined the Navy, it was in 1987. It was a long time ago. In 1983, I went to join as an officer, and they gave me a mock interview. And 5 minutes into the interview, they stopped me and told me to go away and come back in 4 years and get more educated. So I did. But when I went back in 4 years, I went back to join as a regular rating. I actually was going to join the Air Force because my dad was in the Air Force. But I got to the careers office and it was closed for lunch. Round the corner was a pub. I may or may not have had a few drinks at lunchtime. I went back to get in line for the Air Force, and there was a long line to join the Air Force. There was no line to join the Navy. Moving on. All right. I think you could work the rest of that one out. My tip for the week, I had 6 years. I had a wonderful time in the Navy. Wonderful time. My tip is when you, and this is something to be very aware of because it can catch a lot of people out. If you get a better rate code offer with your cruise, so say you're on offer A and you had $100 onboard credit, but you get a better offer, but there's less or no onboard credit attached to that offer. Be very careful that you didn't already use the onboard credit from the initial offer to buy something. Because if you did, once that offer code changes, whatever you use the onboard credit for will cancel because the onboard credit will drop off of your booking. An example, you buy Cheers, and when you go on Carnival, it says, cha-ching, you have onboard credit available to use towards this, which is a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong. I love being able to use the onboard credit for, pre-cruise purchases. So you spend whatever. When you change it, that's going to cancel, and sometimes you don't know. We don't all check our bank accounts religiously, especially if it's a smaller amount that you used it on. Say you used it on a cheaper shore excursion. You get on board and it's no longer there. And you're like, what happened? That's what happened. And you won't get any notice most of the time. They'll just cancel it. That's one thing I wish they would do. If they ever cancel anything, I wish they would send an email saying your shore excursion, your cheers package, your internet package, whichever it is, has been cancelled. No, they just cancel it behind the scenes and send you nothing. They'll just take it off. So be aware of that. And tied into that, and I hear this from a lot of people, you'll go in on Carnival and sometimes your cruise isn't even there that you've added, so you got to add it again under the Manage My Bookings tab. But on top of that, sometimes the items you purchased are not showing. I had one, I was looking yesterday for one of my upcoming cruises, and it didn't show cheers or internet package, and I know I booked them both. So a way to confirm you have it without having to call Carnival is simply try and book it again. If you try and book it again and you already have it, it's going to tell you when you try to book it, you've already purchased it. Okay? It saves you having to call in. If you try and book it again and it lets you book it again, somehow you don't have cheers anymore. You might want to call in. It could be that situation happened. So very simply, if you have a chance to change your offer code for a better rate, that's great. But make sure if it has less onboard credit and that you haven't used the previous offers onboard credit to purchase anything. Simple as that, really. That's my tip. Not as good as Dennis's. Dennis's were great. Better than Julie's last week. She's not watching anymore. She don't watch my videos. What she does is she puts them on in the background to try and cheat and get me views. Who knew that was a thing? Who knew anybody could do that? Who knew how much that would help me? She doesn't even have to watch them. They're just on in the background while she's working. Very good idea, that, isn't it? I never told you to do it. All right, thanks, Dennis. Send me more. Everybody else, send me yours. And I will work on that, Dennis, I promise. Actually, I'll have already got the information because, like I said earlier, when this goes out, I'll be back from the Panorama. So we'll work on that for definite. And like I said, if anybody else has any ideas of videos they would like me to do, please send them to me. I do have contacts, so if I don't know the answer, I have people I can call to find out, or email, or whatever. I can get in touch with people that can give me proper information. And I do, unlike what the brand officer claims or YouTubers do, I use mine factually based. I don't print stuff I don't know the answer to. If I don't know the answer, I will contact my contacts and find out the actual answer. So everything I say on here is, I hope, accurate and true. If I'm wrong, then let me know, and I will apologize 100%. But I don't do clickbait. I try and make sure every video is accurate and up to date. So if you do like that thought, maybe you want to subscribe to this channel. The button is everywhere all over the place, as most people do these days. If you have any questions, my email is coming up right after this video. Please feel free to email me. Like I said, if I don't know the answer, I will find somebody that does. I do recommend the Carnival FAQs. A lot of people's questions I look up on carnival.com, and that's a very good resource, or any cruise line's website. They do give a lot of information out there. I wouldn't trust anything you read on any Facebook page 100%. If you're not 100% sure, check it on there. Apart from mine, of course. But Facebook is full of people that think they know but don't know, especially brand ambassadors. Anyway, moving on. Subscribe, send me an email, send me your tips. Please send me your tips. I need them for this show to keep going. My email again coming up at the end of this. Just be aware, I don't read them. I react, and we go. And with that, because I'm waffling, there's a waffling sign comes on in my head because I do it every week. I will see you later, Cruising World. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell, and you'll get notifications when new videos come out. And don't forget, click on the links to the left and right of me. You can watch playlists, new video suggestions, and more. Any questions? Email me, cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. And don't forget, I'm a travel agent. Email for help.